So what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? There's one thing that I know you got to have, and that is motivation each and every day to absolutely crush it in your business. But how can you stay motivated? I'm going to give you the tips from millionaire entrepreneurs on how they stay motivated and how you can use these to stay motivated in your own business.
This is the Unlock Success Podcast. We're helping entrepreneurs around the world dive deep into the keys you need to shatter excuses, believe in yourself, and help you achieve your highest goals. Here's your host, 8-figure entrepreneur and the living legend of internet marketing, Anthony Morrison.
Hey everybody, Anthony Morrison here, and welcome to this episode of the Unlock Success Podcast, where we're going to talk about motivational secrets of millionaire entrepreneurs. Now listen, here's something that most gurus and most entrepreneurs won't tell you in their YouTube ads or their Facebook ads or anything like that. If you're trying to sell something like a course or a coaching program, here's the deal. The motivation you have to be successful is more important than the method you choose to get there. Think about that. It works for all entrepreneurs. I don't care what your method is. If it's drop shipping, affiliate marketing, social media agencies, Amazon, real estate, franchises, it doesn't matter what it is. All of these things work just fine. The problem is most entrepreneurs don't stay motivated enough, long enough, to see their business through. That's why shiny object syndrome is such a problem. The shiny object of a new business opportunity, right? People get a little bit motivated. But when that motivation fizzles out, when the new wears off, so does their business. And what I want to teach you today are the secrets that I and other millionaire entrepreneurs have learned to basically help us stay motivated, to see the business through until they find massive success. So the first motivational secret that I want to share with you is create a morning routine. If you search morning routines on something like YouTube right now, you'll find tons of videos by famous millionaires and CEOs sharing their morning routine. So do yourself a favor and don't follow any of those. I'm not here to tell you what time to wake up and what to eat for breakfast and how to work out and all that stuff. I don't know your schedule. I don't know your life. I don't pretend to, right? But what I can tell you is that millionaire entrepreneurs have a morning routine that allows them to do three things: clear their mind, promote a healthy lifestyle, and dedicate time to their business. So write those down, those three things, very important. Because I have thousands of students, okay, all over the world. And I don't want to tell you what your morning routine should be, but what I want to encourage you to do is to find a routine that helps you clear your mind when you wake up in the morning, that helps you live a healthier lifestyle, that allows you to dedicate some time to your business, right? Because these three fundamental things, if we start our morning off with those, then we've started our morning off and we've conditioned our body, we've conditioned ourselves, our minds, everything for a much more successful day. We won't get burnt out as fast. We'll be able to make decisions quicker, right? We'll overall have a better feeling of, I call it euphoria. When you wake up in the morning, it's like you want to be excited about the day. You don't want to feel like the day is a weight on your chest, right? The second secret of millionaire entrepreneurs is that, listen, it's just a fact. They're always learning. Now, what I didn't say was that you have to read a book every day or 10x your library overnight, okay? I know there's a lot of people that say books. Here's the thing, books are great, but don't limit the ways you can grow your knowledge. Find what works for you. You can listen to podcasts like the one you're on right now, right? You can watch interviews of other CEOs and entrepreneurs in your industry. You can listen carefully to your teammates or your colleagues and ask great questions, right? We don't have to be stuck in this old school mentality that the only thing we can do is read a book. Just think about your day from morning to night and be intentional about the ways that you can be a student. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this interaction? What can I learn from this interview or this show that I'm watching, right? These are very, very important things because as we're learning, we're getting these new ideas for our business. And as we get those new ideas for our business, we get more excited about our business. When your business is just on autopilot, okay, as you've heard a lot of people say, it's like, put it on autopilot. Well, that's great. You can put it on autopilot, but then you often get very bored, very demotivated. And there's no motivation to grow, right? So always be learning so that you'll have these new ideas that spark this interest in growth, right? The third motivational secret of millionaire entrepreneurs is that they set realistic and specific goals. Listen, the rule I have for my personal goals is that they should be big enough that it actually excites me, but small enough that I can create a step-by-step plan to make it happen, right? If the goal is so big and so unrealistic that you never actually figure out how to get there and you're going to get lost in the process, well, then what good is it? And if the goal is too small, then it's hardly going to provide enough motivation to keep you going, right? When you hit your first wall, you're like, there's not really that much there, right? The secret is to make your goals specific. Say, listen, and here's how you might do that. I want to make X number of dollars by the end of the year. I want to have X number of units of my product sold by the end of the month. I want to have X numbers of hours this week to spend with my family. I want to go on X number of dates. If you're looking to kind of, I don't know, maybe have a better relationship life, right? If you're looking to find your partner and you wake up every single day and you're kind of depressed because you're not making any strides for that, then set yourself a goal, right? Successful entrepreneurs, successful people, they stay motivated towards their goals because they stay specific. They visualize them and they work out an exact step-by-step plan to make them happen. It's funny because I never knew what vision boards were when I was growing up. It's not like anybody ever said, Anthony, here's this thing, it's called a vision board. I just used to always accumulate pictures of the things that I wanted in life, right? I'll never forget, I took this picture of this house, and it's funny how our taste changes, right, as we age. But I took this picture of this house. It was this Spanish tile roof house, right? It was either in Mexico or in Florida, I don't know which one, but it had the Spanish tile roof, and it just looked like a castle, And I took this picture out of a magazine that my parents had in our house, and I tore it out, and I put it on my desk when I started working. I was probably 22 at the time, 20, maybe 23. So I took that out. And then I love cars. And so Dodge came out with this Dodge Viper. And I always wanted one, blue and white stripes. So I took a picture of that and I put it on my desk. And I just said, this is what motivates me. This is what I'm working for. I want to be able to have these things in my life. Like I want one of those Dodge Vipers and I want that awesome house. Like that's so epic, but I got to make money in order to be there. And then I thought about, what else really motivates me? And so I have this picture of my dad, and it's kind of funny. I have this picture of my dad and he's kicked back in his chair. He used to have this chair. My mom used to cut hair. And so she actually built a little barbershop in our first house, and she put one of those hair dryers. It's where you sit down and it comes over your head like this. It looks like you're like an alien, comes over your head, and old school, dries your hair. My dad used that up until the day he passed away. He never liked change. And so I have a picture of him though, kicked back in that chair in the middle of the afternoon with his Apple computer. I'd bought him a big Apple computer, and it was sitting right in front of him. And he was doing something for our business on the computer, which was astounding because he was in his mid-60s. He had never had a computer before. And so I took that picture and I put it on my desk. And it's interesting because my dad passed away a couple years ago, and just yesterday, so the day before we filmed this episode of the podcast, my mom brought me this big box of all the things at their house. She said, look, here's some things I think you might want. Here's some things that, you might want to keep with you, as you kind of move forward in life. And she had taken those pictures off my desk. They were the top 3 things sitting in the box. And then I come in today to do our podcast, and I see this motivational secrets thing, and it really put the two together for me because those were my 3 things that motivated me. So like every day when I woke up as a 22, 23-year-old kid, my friends were going on vacations. They were going partying, having a good time on boats, all kinds of stuff. I was working, right? I was motivated to work, but I was motivated because every morning when I woke up, I saw the things that I was working for. I was working because I wanted to have the really big house. I wanted to have the Dodge Viper. I wanted my dad to be able to have this great lifestyle because, I had watched him go through so much. He had come from nothing, made millions in real estate, retired, and then lost it all in the stock market with WorldCom. And so I'd kind of seen the evolution. And I see this picture of him just hanging out in the middle of the afternoon, carefree. And it was actually just the smile on his face and the moment where I could tell he was just had no worries, right? No stress. And I thought, man, that's why I'm working. Like, that's why I do what I do. And so those three things, visually seeing those every single morning, help me to stay motivated and to stay focused, right? Because there's so much going on in the world, and there's so many things that can distract us, and there's so many things that can kill motivation. There's so many things we might rather be doing. You know, for me in my early 20s, I'd much rather have been riding on a boat and skiing with my friends, or, you know, going on a vacation, going to the beach, going to, to the mountains, doing anything, right? Going to Vegas with them. Like, almost anything would be better than just sitting down at the computer and pounding keys, which is what I was doing. But like I said, I stayed motivated by visualizing what motivated me. And, you know, true to form, I mean, look, I 15 years later, I've had 4 of those blue and white Dodge Vipers, amongst many other cars. I've just bought a house the other day that's very similar in style to the one that I had that picture of, but we're building houses right now that exceed anything I could have ever really visualized and dreamed of. And I know that my dad, up until the last day that he was here, was carefree and never had to stress, never had to worry about money, never had to worry about what was going to happen to, you know, his wife or his daughters or anything like that. I mean, it literally, all of the things that I visualized came true. And so I encourage you to also use visualization. Have pictures of the things that motivate you. And it's not always just the things, right? Like as in, you know, just the physical things like a boat, a car, a house. You know, like for me, the thing was just seeing my dad excited, seeing my dad happy. For you, it might be, you know, seeing your wife excited, your husband, you know, relaxed, your children in college, you know, where you're trying to figure out like, hey, what are we going to do to save money for that? You know, it could be many things, right? It doesn't have to be like a tangible item, right? But whatever it is that will motivate you, whatever it is that drives you to wake up in the morning and be excited to tackle your day, tackle the work, right? Put in the work, do the work to be successful. Put that stuff around you and visualize it each and every day and remind yourself what you're working for, what you're doing it for, because we all have a reason why. Right? We all have a reason why. Nobody just wakes up and says, I think I want to work a lot. Like, we all have a reason why. And it goes beyond the money, right? Because if it was just money, then we would all have the same level of motivation, right? Just we want more money. That's not what it is. It's what we can do with the money that motivates us. And that is what really pushes you to the next level in your business and in everything that you do as an entrepreneur. So take that with you, you know, use visualization, use all the other things that we've talked about here. And I truly believe it can help you to stay motivated, avoid the burnout and the demotivation that comes to so many entrepreneurs, and have massive success in your business. I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to talking to you and letting you listen to more of my tips on how to be a successful entrepreneur on the next episode of the Unlock Success Podcast.